Ladies and gentlemen, you know what this is. You know who I am. Let's get this thing started. I'm back. And with that, we say welcome into the show. You already know what this is. This is the hottest sports podcast in the South. This is the best damn sports podcast, period. And I am your host, the sensational Sentell and we are back better than ever. It's been too long. I have been gone for a long time, 6 months to be exact. Been gone. Now we're gonna get into a lot of current events. We're gonna talk about the NBA playoffs. The NFL draft is right around the corner. We're gonna talk some NIL and transfer portal. I'll have my guest host in a few minutes, Kiwi Dennis, join me, and we're gonna get all that. But we gotta go back. Because like I said, it's been 6 months. And I've been gone for a while. And 6 months, that's like October. And there's a lot that has happened since October. And I just can't seem to think what exactly happened. What happened in the last 6 months? What has happened since October? I just can't quite put my finger on what has happened since October. I just can't wrap my head around it. What happened since I've been gone? Well, for one, the Atlanta Braves won the World Series in October. And obviously it ended in November, but October it started. The World Series started in October. The Braves win the World Series for the first time in 26 years. And hey, man, I'm still on cloud nine. Another season has started, and I'm still wrapped up in the hysteria that is the World Series championship from November. So I'm still talking about that. Moving on, college football championship, college football playoff, the CFP. Speaking of rundown fan bases, downtrodden fan bases, lifelong suffering fan bases, the Georgia Bulldogs. Yes, I said that correctly. The Georgia football Bulldogs won the national championship. That is not, you're hearing me correctly. That actually happened. We're not gonna get into specifics of what happened and how it happened, but it happened. So congratulations to those people. And then Super Bowl, we had the Los Angeles Rams led by Matthew Stafford, who went to Georgia. They won the NFL Super Bowl. Can you believe that? Led by Aaron Donald and a cast of others. The Rams are the Super Bowl champions. And then we had the college basketball championship, March Madness. And the Kansas Jayhawks won the championship. So that leads us to currently what we have going on now. The MLB season has started. NBA playoffs. The NFL draft is right around the corner. So you are now caught up. And again, I repeat, the Georgia Bulldogs won the national championship. If you can believe that the Georgia Bulldogs won the national championship. So, but with that, welcome into the show. It's been too long. I've been gone. Hey, if you want to comment, you can. I'll see it right here, and I'll answer it. Any questions or comments that you may have as you watch the best damn sports podcast, period, with the sensational Sentell Whiteman. I'm about to be joined in a few seconds by my guest, Kiwi Dennis. He now lives in Tampa, Florida, but you know he's from Calhoun Falls. He's a Calhoun Falls savage. By the way, he was actually in South Carolina this past weekend for Easter Sunday, but he's not back down in the Sunshine State. He couldn't stay long. I don't blame the guy. You know, you get here, you come, you stay, you get the hell on back to where you belong. I want to introduce my guest at this time and thank him for joining. Kiwi Dennis, welcome to the show.
Yo, appreciate you having me on, man. Yeah, the thing about going and coming back is, we always got to get back to work at some point. So definitely got to get in and get out, just for your work schedule. But yeah, appreciate you having me on. The Braves still suck. I know you happy to have your Braves gear on because you're still disappointed in that loss from last night. So yeah, you rock your Braves, but your Nets they're in trouble.
Yeah, man, we're gonna get into yesterday's game. What a game it was, but we'll get that in just a few moments, man. But we're gonna kick it off. We're just gonna kind of run through these playoffs, man. I think these playoffs are gonna be. I mean, NBA playoffs are always fantastic. You get the elite level athletes and talent on the court against each other, the best teams, and man, it just they usually put together some of the best basketball you're gonna see at this time of year. Um, so we're just kind of going down through these series, man. What your thoughts on games, on each game? What we think will happen going forward, and then we'll go from there, man. Saturday we start the day off. We had the first game of the day was Utah versus Dallas. Hey, obviously the big elephant in the room, Luka Doncic did not play.
Yeah.
Utah wins the game 99-93. Donovan Mitchell had 32 points, and I think he had 30 in the second half. If I'm not mistaken. Dallas was led by Jalen Brunson and Spencer Dinwiddie while Luka was out. I just can't see any way Dallas can win this series without Luka. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for Dallas to win without Luca, but I mean Dallas still has a pretty good nucleus around 'em. I mean, even without Luca in the last game, I think they only ended up losing by like 6. I mean, it was still a relatively close game for the playoffs. They're gonna need more from they're gonna need more from guys like Spencer Dinwiddie. I know he gave you 22, but we're gonna need some Herculean efforts out of him in order to win the series without Luca. But yeah, it's gonna be tough for them to win without Luca.
Um,
Yeah, not not a whole lot of superstars on this team without him, but they got a lot of good role players. So
yeah.
we'll see.
You say they lost by 6, but you know what? I'm gonna be honest. That's more to do with Utah, cause we all know nobody trusts Utah, and I'm fairly confident in saying that if Dallas has Luca, no one's picking Utah, correct?
I don't know. I still like this Utah team, man. I think they constructed pretty good. They got a defensive anchor. They got what's considered as a superstar, and they got a defensive minded point guard that distribute the ball good. I mean they got a good nucleus. They got
I'm,
some
I'm
players on that side on that team. And, they even got the bench guy Jordan Clarkson who can score 30 at any point. But I mean
I do
I wouldn't pick
love.
them to win in the series, but I would say it goes 7 games, even if Luka was playing.
If they had Luca, you think this series would go? You think this series would go 7?
Yeah, I think it still goes 7 games, even with Luca.
I yeah, I mean I disagree with that. I just don't buy into Utah. You know what happens this time of year. I mean Donovan Donovan Mitchell's a really really nice player. I wouldn't call him a superstar. Rudy Gobert seems to disappear at playoff times, right on cue every year. But they got a nice little team. I like Quinn Snyder a lot, but I think Dallas with Luca, and that's the point I'm making. They like I say they only lost by 6. I think with Luca, I don't think Utah can win the series. But you say I guess we don't know what Luca's status is. How many games this series? You think it goes 7?
Not without Luca, no. Um, if Luca comes back, I think definitely they can stretch it to 7 games. But depending on his health, I think this is Utah's series to win. But without Luca, I'm gonna say five
Okay,
games without Luca
I agree with you
max.
on that. If there's no Luca, I think Utah wins this series easily, fairly easily. On to the second game of Saturday. Minnesota Timberwolves upset the 2-seeded Memphis Grizzlies. Carl Anthony Towns went for 29 and 13. Anthony Edwards goes for 36. They kind of hold Ja Morant, who had 32, but it was an inefficient 32 uh, in check. Memphis shot 7 of 27 from the 3-point line. What do you see from Minnesota? I thought they had a great game plan, and I'm gonna be honest. More the times than not, when you look at these guys, top 2 or 3 players, I think Minnesota has a better top tier players than Memphis.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Minnesota has, what players that would be considered all stars, and Cat. We got up and coming Anthony Edwards. Yeah, I mean they got a really good squad. It's this is probably my favorite series of the first round. It's gonna be a lot of offense, not a whole lot of defense being played. So it's gonna be one of those that's fun to watch for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be hard to predict the winner of it though, but I think this one definitely going to 7 games. Definitely going to 7 games.
Yeah, to piggyback off that one, this 130 to 117. I mean, defense was optional, but I mean that's just shot making. It's a lot of skill on the court.
Yeah,
But Memphis, that's gonna be a big game too for Memphis, man. They gotta answer the bell in game two because I mean you can't go down 2-0 and then go back to Minnesota down 2-0 against this team with a lot of confidence right now. It's gonna be a tough series. I still
right.
take Memphis because they showed me a lot throughout the regular season, but Minnesota's growing on me.
I don't know, dude. You got, like you said, Josh scored 32 points the other day, had 8 assists. I mean, he basically playing his game out there, and they still lost by 13. So I don't know. That's not a lot of hope for you for your team when your star scoring 32, even though like you said, it's inefficient. But yeah, we gotta get more out of the role players.
Bro,
If you're a
I thought,
Memphis fan, so it should be a
yeah,
good game. And Anthony Edwards, he had a really good game the other day. You can't expect him to score 36 throughout the series, but yeah,
yeah.
we'll see.
I thought the key with me, Desmond Bain had a bad game. I thought he had a really really bad game. That's kind of the key right there. Cause Dylan Brooks kind of gave you what he normally gives you. JJJ
Yeah,
was kind of in foul trouble, but he shot the ball horribly, which is something he
he
typically
did.
does. But he played outstanding defense. But we should see moving forward. This is a great series. I think it goes 7 now. I didn't think so early in the series, but I think it goes 7. Two pretty evenly matched teams. But let's move along. Saturday night we had the Raptors and the Sixers. What if I told the Raptors? Sixers win the game 131 to 111. But what if I told you that Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris would lead the Sixers in scoring? Do you believe they would have won that game if I had told you that coming into the series?
No, definitely not. I mean, Maxi has been improving. He's been improving throughout the year. Like as the year has grown strong, he's definitely turning into a pretty good starter, a pretty good player altogether. But yeah, I mean, if you don't have Joel Embiid leading the team and scoring, then you definitely not thinking that they're winning the game, especially by not that much. But yeah, I mean, it's excellent performance by both of them. Usually we get to the playoffs and we don't see the best of Tobias Harris. He's come up short a lot of times in these playoffs. So it's good to see him playing good ball. We'll see though. This should be a pretty good series as well.
Yeah, I thought that Toronto poses all kind of challenges defensively to Philadelphia, and they did. They kind of held the Stars in check, but they didn't. You forgot about Max and Harris, and they lit them up. Tobias went nuts for 30. I mean, Tyrese went crazy for 38. I don't think he'll do that again, but I think it's gonna be a tough, gritty series. I think
Yeah.
Philadelphia just has a talent advantage, but I do like Nick Nurse as a coach and what Toronto stands for. But I think Philadelphia gets this more in a shorter series than I would anticipate.
Yeah. Then the health of Scotty Barnes is big as well. So I don't know if he's gonna play in game two. I don't know what his status is going forward, but I know he's hobbled by some injuries, and I think they were saying he's gonna be out for game two.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's gonna be a big one for them. So we'll see
That's
for
huge.
Toronto.
I'm a big, huge fan of Scotty Barnes. I like everything about that kid's game. But if they don't have him now, it's gonna be tough on him. I think Philadelphia just gonna overwhelm him a little bit in this series. So that's 76ers up 1 game to nothing. Let's move on. Saturday night, prime time, Golden State, Denver. And if I told you that Steph Curry was going to come off the bench for Golden State and that they would just flat out dominate, this game is not indicative of the score. I promise you This game was not that close. But the revelation, the the coming out party of Jordan Poole, who has just been sensational for weeks and weeks. I mean, Golden State looked about as good as they have since the beginning of the season. That was a dominant performance against probably the back-to-back reigning MVP in Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, they dominated from start to finish. I mean, they were, I think they were down at the end of the first quarter, but starting with the second quarter, you can kind of see where they start picking it up a little bit. Once Steph came off the bench, he played a little more in that second quarter. But yeah, this I don't know if Denver has an answer. I mean, you got Jokic, but what else do you got? Like, where else am I gonna get scoring from consistently?
Yeah,
You can't. Will Barton, he scored 24, but you can't really expect him to score that many points for the course of a series where you're looking at. So yeah, I mean, where's the additional scoring gonna come from when we're looking at this
yeah.
Nuggets
I've
team? I
watched.
don't think they got it, especially against a good defensive minded team in Golden State. Also, we watched the Warriors throughout the year. Jordan Poole didn't get talked about enough. At some point, all the talk on the Warriors were, how Klay Thompson gonna fit back in with the team, and then when Klay Thompson came back, then we got Steph. Steph got hurt, so now all the talk is about, Steph is hurt. What are they gonna do without Steph? But yeah, Jordan Poole stepped up in a big way throughout the season. I don't think he got enough credit for helping the Warriors get to this point in the season for sure.
Definitely be a guy who's up for most improved player in the NBA. Yeah, as far as Denver goes, I've watched a lot of Denver this year, and one night Aaron Gordon may give you something. One night, uh, you just mentioned the guy Barton might give you something one night, but without Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr., they are not a serious threat in any series going forward. And I mean, and it's terrible that Jamal Murray hadn't really played basically for about a year and a half now. We had not seen Jamal Murray, and then we knew that Michael Porter Jr. had the back issues coming out of college, and we thought they had that under control, and now that has flared back up. So we don't know what his situation is going forward, but it's basically Jokic versus five guys, and that's not going to work. Like you say, with a good defensive team like Golden State, who always does a good job with him to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything to add? No. Okay.
No, no, this one, they better find some answers quick, because I mean, honestly, this one of those sweep games or series that I can see as a sweep real easy.
Yeah,
So they better
th-
better
yeah,
find some answers fast.
yeah. This feels like all the makers of a short series. I just don't see what Denver can do on either end of the floor. They just undermanned and outnumbered at this point. Let's move on to Sunday. Sunday game of interest. Game of interest to you. I seen this coming. I got ESP. I told this guy, he's a Miami Heat fan. I said, they gonna blow them out the game one. I said, look at the turnaround. The Hawks played Friday night in Cleveland in an emotional playing game. Turn around, play Sunday, the first game on Sunday afternoon. This beatdown was inevitable. No, don't get it twisted. The Hawks not winning the series, but that combination with a rested Miami team, 115-91. They held Trey Young to 8 points. I mean, that is just outstanding. And let me tell you something about Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra, he's just a great coach. I like me some Eric Spoelstra. Putting Duncan Robinson on the bench may have been the move of the season so far. Now he has two snipers off the bench. I don't know what you want to call these guys. You got two white guys that come off the bench. They just light it up in two different ways. But that was a stroke of genius. They were led by Jimmy Butler. Heat over Atlanta. Thoughts on your Miami Heat?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, a little bit of what I expected. They are coming. Not well. You think about it, they played Friday night, but they also had to play another game. When was it? I think it was Wednesday. So they coming off two games where they've had to play to earn the right to be the 8 seed. But yeah, I kind of saw this one coming a little bit. I know we played them really tough over the course of this season. Last year they had our number a bit, but over the course of this season We played them really tough. I think Eric Spoelstra has found a way to guard Trey Young, so he put a little bit of bigger bodies on him, so it makes it a lot tougher for him. But yeah, like you said, Spo definitely, if not top coach in the NBA, he's definitely in the top three as far as like where he makes in game adjustments. He has a lot of playoff experience, so it's a lot to like about this Heat team. Um, Only thing that I would say would kind of hinder us from making a championship push would be injuries because we've had a lot over the season. Jimmy has been banged up all season. Kyle Lowry missed some time. Um, even Tyler Hero, he missed some time as well. So injuries is gonna play a big part going forward. But I look forward to a lot. Just seeing this team go far in the playoffs for sure.
And
It'll be a lot of fun.
and to add on to that, no Clint Capella for the Hawks on yesterday. So this really was like just an unfair. It just was just brutal. I don't think this will go long, but Trey Young will get you one at State Farm already. He that good enough to get you one. And we'll find out more about Miami in the next round. This is not gonna tell me anything about Miami going forward. Um, the game of the day, the game of the weekend, happened up in Boston yesterday when the Brooklyn Nets and the Boston Celtics played an outstanding basketball game. It was the Celtics 115-114. We obviously know Jason Tatum hits the walk-off layup to end the game. Kyrie was absolutely brilliant. 39 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds. Kind of did a little bit of everything. KD was very, very inefficient. 6 turnovers. Didn't play well at all. I thought Jason Tatum did a great job. He had 31 yesterday. But Al Horford and Marcus Smart combined for 40 points yesterday and 22 rebounds. To me, that was the difference in the ball game. But what a game! I think it's going to be a great series and good win by Boston yesterday.
Yeah, this one's gonna be another exciting series. Two like-minded teams. We got a lot of playoff experience on both sides of the ball here. Like you said, Al Horford looked like the Al Horford of the Gators championship runs a
What
few years back, man. 20 and 15. So
what got
that's
it? I don't know
that's
what got
big
Al
time. Like you said,
Horford.
even Marcus Smart. I mean, he had 20 points, right? Al Horford, he just took advantage of his opportunity, man. You guys play small a lot, so I mean that kind of play into his favor as well. So yeah, that was a good game by him. Good game by Smart. Um, they got a lot of contribution from Grant Williams off the bench as well. He gave some good minutes. Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be a tough series for you guys, man, because they play good defense. They're gritty long team, so it's gonna be a tough series, even
this
matchup.
this is this.
But yeah, I
I
want
mean
to
this
see
is
how this
this
one play out for
we
sure.
this series should not be happening in the first round. That's just number one. But because of circumstances that beyond everybody's control, we get the series in the first round. Um, I do like Adoko as the coach. I think he does a great job. But I mean, I think both they are equally matched teams. I mean, both teams got contribution yesterday off the bench. Both teams players, role players played well. I think the only difference in the game was Kevin Durant was not Kevin Durant yesterday. That was the difference in the game. And the Marcus Smart and Al Horford, Al Horford turned back the clock and just went bananas yesterday. This thing has 7 written all over it, and
Yeah.
and I hope they don't all be like the one yesterday. This is why I don't have any hair right now, but this is the kind of series that shortens your life span right here. Every game gonna be kind of highly contested and close. So, good win from Boston yesterday. Um, Kyrie Irving got a lot of conversations about Kyrie Irving today about the fan interaction, and me personally, I have no issue with Kyrie Irving. I'm like, f them damn fans because at some point, some of this stuff is over the line, and it goes way beyond uh, opposing fans booing and saying normal things. And some of this stuff is just way uh, beyond the the the, uh, the form. It shouldn't be that. It should never get to those levels of some of these conversations I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, as a fan, it's okay to heckle the other team because I mean that gives you the home court advantage of being able to do that to opposing players. But like you said, there is a line, and clearly Boston has gone. Boston fan has. I'm not sure necessarily on yesterday, but in the past, Boston fans have clearly gone over that line with Kyrie. You look back at some of the racial stuff that they said against him. So yeah, I mean, I didn't see anything wrong with what he did yesterday, but I mean, that's just him going back at the fans, the back and forth banter um, between the opposing player and the fan. I mean, honestly, I think that the Celtics fans need to watch out. You don't want to keep this man riled up. So stop heckling him. If he go off, if you heckle him, he go off for 39, and that's a good sign. You need to leave that man alone.
Yeah,
He be your
I thought
teammate.
he
Leave him
fed.
alone.
I thought he fed off of that yesterday. He was brilliant yesterday. And as a fan, I'm so disappointed in Kevin Durant yesterday because if I could just get a B game out of him, I could just get anything out of Kevin Durant yesterday. We get a dub yesterday. He gave me basically nothing yesterday at all. But I still think this series is gonna be a long, drawn out series, and hopefully my Brooklyn Nets get the job done. Moving along to probably to me, well, one of the two least competitive series, Chicago and Milwaukee. Milwaukee wins yesterday, 93-86. Greek Freak had 27.16 rebounds. They held the Bulls to 32% shoot from the field. DeMar DeRozan absolutely showed his true colors. Playoff DeMar DeRozan, right on schedule, 6 for 25 from the field, and then he has the nerve to say in the press conference that won't happen again. Newsflash, DeMarcus, I've seen you do this multiple times in playoffs, so stop the lying. Anything to add? The Bulls just don't have enough. They have enough to beat this team.
I don't think they have enough ultimately to beat this team. But I mean, with as bad as DeRozan played on yesterday, I mean, they got a fighter's chance, man. I mean, they got a good squad. I like the Bulls team how they constructed. I like obviously I like the coach, but yeah, I mean I think they got a fighting chance, but I don't think ultimately they have enough to win the series for sure. Not at
Yeah,
all.
I don't. I just can't see it. They just don't have enough. They don't have enough superstar star power to carry a pass a team like it does. I mean, Lonzo Ball would help them a little bit, but they shot 32% from the field yesterday. And I know you're saying, well, the game was kind of close, but Milwaukee only had 93. So that means they didn't shoot the ball well either. And I don't see Chris Middleton playing that bad. Drew Holiday really didn't shoot it well yesterday. Greek Freak was the only guy that really played well for them yesterday, and they still won the game. We'll see going forward how that goes. In the nightcap yesterday, the best team in the NBA, the Phoenix Suns defeated New Orleans in the 1-8 matchup, 110-99. CP3. Speaking of turning back the clock, he had 19 points in the fourth quarter, 30 points total, 10 assists, seven rebounds. He was outstanding. Devin Book gave you 25. DeAndre Ayton gave you 21. The Suns are absolutely loaded. Is there any hope for the New Orleans Pelicans at all?
Zero. Zero chance that they could win this series. Even if you get 35 from Brandon Ingram every game, it's not gonna be enough for this team to win the series. They just don't got enough firepower. Good young nucleus. Hopefully they can get Zion back at some point, and it'll definitely make this team a lot more dangerous. But yeah, just as of right now, they're not presently constructed to win this series
Yeah,
against
I
the Suns.
just, when they get Zion back, they have a nice little nucleus there. If he comes back to being back, because I saw him the other day, he still looked really, really heavy. It's a shame. It's really, really a shame that he's kind of going to probably squander this opportunity. He's going to kind of eat himself out of the league, out of shape, because he was a highlight film. He was very entertaining to watch, but we always had this concern about his weight. Being that athletic at that size, how will your knees hold up? How will your feet, ankles hold up? And I think that's the combination of him that all coming together. And I don't know if we ever gonna see the full potential reached of a Zion Williamson. Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. Honestly, I just it's this demeanor that concern me. You know, you just look at him, it just don't look like he care a lot about playing basketball. Like he likes, I think he likes basketball, but I don't think he loves basketball.
And, and that happens a lot in sports. You like it, you like the paycheck, like what comes with it, but I don't think you love the game. Now, I'll pose it to you: is this because he's in New Orleans, or you think he don't like basketball? He don't love the game. Period.
I think period. I don't think it has anything to do with New Orleans. I mean, you can win there. I mean, they got a good young nucleus. They made the GM's not opposed to like making deals to make the team better. They went out and got CJ McCollum. I mean, you don't have a lot of GMs make that type of move to go out and get a player of his caliber, to make your team better. So I mean, they put in pieces in place for him to have a good team. But yeah, I mean, I just don't think he likes it at all. Well, he loves it. Period.
Yeah, yeah. It don't
Not
you
just
look?
with New Orleans.
Yeah, you look at him. Most of the season, he wasn't around his teammates, even though he was rehabbing. I mean, you're not there. You're not. I just don't get the sense of a guy who's hungry to be great, who destined, who wants to be great. Like it's like if I get healthy and get in shape, oh well. If I don't play, oh well. It's I don't like that demeanor, that mentality. And like I say, we're gonna get the pride of probably seeing a really, really good player, but kind of seen it coming. Um, let's kind of transition.
Yeah, and then even if you think about, I'm sorry, if you think about like you go back to a player like Greg Oden. Like Greg Oden had bad knees. We knew he had bad knees, but you could tell Greg Oden wanted to play basketball. You know what I mean? Even after he was out for a while, he worked really hard to get back into the league. Even with those bad knees, so that he could try to play basketball because he loved the game. But I just don't see that in comparison to Zion. I don't see it at
Yeah,
all.
I'm with you on that. Hopefully, the young man gets it turned around, but like you don't lose weight as you get older. Like you just don't lose weight, and I just don't see him making the effort to do what it necessary to take to get the weight off, take care of your body, to be there for your teammates. I mean, you've missed a significant amount of games in just 3 seasons. I can't even tell you the amount of games he's missed in 3 years. So I just see a squandered opportunity for Zion Williamson. Let's uh, get away from the basketball talk and stay right there for just a second. And we're back. Let's get into some NFL draft talk. I know this is heavy on your mind, not really my mind. I don't have a first round draft pick being a San Francisco 49ers fan, so I have not been as in tune with the NFL draft this year. But I know you have because this stuff, you live for this stuff. This is your time of year. You love the NFL draft and looking at prospects. I hadn't even really put together my own big board. I usually do my own big board, and I haven't. But I will tell you this, Jay. I will tell you this right now. I do have a favorite player to draft because I always have a favorite player every year. And I pistol a guy out, I single one out, I say, that's my favorite guy to draft. My favorite player this whole entire draft, and it's probably going to surprise you, even though he's highly rated, is Kyle Hamilton, the safety out of Notre
I
Dame.
knew it. I knew you were
I
going there. I
love
knew you were going there.
me some Kyle Hamilton. I used to be a former safety. So as a former, I love this kid. He can play in the box. He can cover. He can cover the slot. He tackles in space. He can run. He runs really well to be his size. I love me some Kyle Hamilton. That is my favorite player by far in this draft. Before you get into your draft selection in general, just who's some of your favorite players in this draft?
Yeah, I really like Kyle Hamilton too, man. I'm a big Kyle Hamilton fan, and if I was picking anywhere else in the top 10 without it being the number one overall pick, I probably would take Kyle Hamilton because I'm a best available player type of guy, but I don't know about best available at number one. You have to find a little bit of some need at number one pick overall. But yeah, I like Kyle Hamilton. I like Derek Stingley Jr. He's one of my favorite players in the draft. I like the tackle from NC State. That's a big nasty kid. Like you gotta have one of those guys on your line. So he's tough. I like him too. So yeah, and probably the combination of the Ohio State receivers, Olave and Wilson. Those guys they can flat out play route runners, good route runners, nice speed, good game speed as well. So them are some of my favorite players in the draft for sure.
Um, hold up a second. Yeah, I got the Pro Football Focus has a big board, and I got that right here. I'm gonna go through that. I'm gonna go through that in just a second. Um, and I just read out some names. Pro Football Focus big board. They have Aiden Hutchinson at number one. They have Kyle Hamilton at two. They have Derek Stingley at three. Kayvon Thibodeau at four. Charles Cross, the tackle from Mississippi State, at five. The aforementioned Akeem Ignoa from NC State, big bad tackle. Evan Neal, another tackle at Bama, he's seven. At eight is Trent McDuffie, cornerback from Washington. At nine is Sauce Gardner, cornerback in Cincinnati. At 10 is George. I'm not going to try to say his last name. Edge rusher from Purdue. At 11 is Drake London, receiver from USC. Garrett Wilson's 12. Bernard Rahman, Michigan. Trayvon Walker, Georgia. And Devin Lloyd is at 15, Utah from linebacker from Utah. And then at 16, Jameson Williamson, coming off an ACL, receiver from Bama. That's just top 16 players from Pro Football Focus. And one guy that just jumps out at me on this page. Hold on, let me get to this first. This is 2022. And we all know that quarterback is the most important position in the NFL. They are overpaid. They get too much credit when you win, too much blame when you lose. This is what jumps out at me when I look at this top 16 players. There is no quarterback in this. There is no quarterback in the top 16. When's the last time you've seen a draft board where you don't have a quarterback on any big board in the top 20 as best player? When that time you think you've seen something like that? Thoughts on the quarterback position in this draft?
Yeah, if you're looking for a quarterback in this draft, then you're in trouble because I just don't see any of these guys as being top guys. They look like they could grow into the position. You got a lot of them. Like I don't know what I'm gonna get from Malik Willis. I mean I'm looking at Pro Football um, big board, and they got Sam Howell, like the highest rated quarterback, which I definitely don't see Howell as being the best of the bunch. I mean, but you got some good quarterbacks here. It's just I don't see any great quarterbacks on the list, or of any of the quarterbacks that are available. I don't see any of them being great pros.
Yeah, um, yeah. This is one of the worst prospect groups that I can remember in a long time. And like I say, Sam Howell at 22, when you haven't even been hearing his name on any draft boards for the top 6-7 quarterbacks, and he's the number one quarterback on Pro Football Focus. Now they use a lot of different variables and what sabermetrics and analytics and all this other nonsense. And Malik Willis is 25. But I think Malik Willis has the biggest upside. He has the most potential to be something if groomed. But here's the problem, Keith. Here's the issue. This is the issue with quarterback in the NFL. I just mentioned all these things. How important. How you got to have one. At the end of the day, one of these guys is going to go in the top 10 for no apparent reason whatsoever. Someone's going to reach and just plunge on one of these guys. And let me tell you something. I like old man Kenny Pickett. He's been at school. He backed up Dan Marino. He's been at school. He was there when Tony Dorsett was there. That's how long Kenny Pickett been there. If you take old small head Kenny Pickett at 6, you have just done yourself a huge disservice. But that's how we have done the quarterback position, where we have overvalued it so much and put a premium on it that a guy like Kenny Pickett would even be thought to be a top 10 pick is just an asinine, ass of 10, ass 11. But someone's gonna do this. If you had to guess, I'm gonna give you the draft order. I'm gonna give you the draft order. Obviously, you at number one. Detroit, Houston, New York Jets, Giants, Panthers, the Falcons, Seahawks, and I won't say the Jets because they got a quarterback. Washington. In the top 11 pick, someone's going to plunge on a quarterback. Which one of these teams is going to make the mistake of drafting one of these guys in the top 10?
So the thing about quarterback is, you know, it's usually tied to the head coach. So, if you get a head coach and they just starting out as a head coach, then they'll be more inclined to take a younger guy and then just kind of string him along. But if you get a coach that's on the hot seat and he takes a young guy, then he gonna throw that young guy in the fire because his job is dependent upon that guy. So I mean, you look at the coaches, you look who there, and I think of the coaches that that coach the teams of those teams that you read off, I think Atlanta probably would be the first team to take a quarterback, and it's just because they have a first year head coach. The regime be a little more patient with that first year head coach to develop a quarterback as opposed to trying to get somebody and just throw them under the fire. Just think about Atlanta. They already got Marcus Mariota, so if they roll the
Stopgap.
dice on a young quarterback, then they're not looking for that quarterback to necessarily be the starter at this point. Yep.
Yeah, stopgap. Stop. Marcus Mariota
It is.
stopgap.
It is. But yeah, I mean, with him being the stopgap though, you got opportunity to draft a young quarterback and not start him right away.
I,
Similar to what you guys did last year.
I agree with you on that. I think Atlanta makes the most. Not, I wouldn't do it, but someone's gonna do it. I'm not. I wouldn't do it. I think Atlanta's the obvious choice. You're right. You got a second year head coach. You got a young team. You're not expected to win. You can let them sit behind Marcus Mariota, who's not a long term solution, um, and get them ready to play. You got job security.
Yeah.
Everybody knows you're not gonna win. Atlanta's not gonna win. That's newsflash. Atlanta's gonna maybe be the worst team
Right.
in the league this year. Newsflash, they're gonna suck. Okay, they have no talent. Kyle Pitts and Grady Jarrett, that's it. Everything else is just bad. I would have said Carolina at one time, but Matt Rule is the difference between Matt Rule and the guy in Atlanta. He is in several years at the job, and he's on the hot seat. And basically,
Right.
you already have Sam Darnold.
You don't have to.
So you take small hand Kenny Pickett, and basically the same guy. I mean, so you need to start trying to put some wins together.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I would more invest myself. Hopefully, neither one's gonna win, but I would put more of a stock in Sam Darnold than I would just taking a rookie, unproven quarterback trying to keep my job safe. That's not gonna happen.
Right. Not at all.
Um, let's talk. We mentioned the top 15 guys on the board. Give me a player that's outside of the top six. That's outside of the top 16 that you like. That's outside of the top 16.
It's outside of the top 16.
Yeah,
Let
no
me, let
one's
me pull the
kind of
list back
talking
up.
about.
Um, it's a few players actually. I like like I
Mm-hmm.
said, I like Chris Olave. That's he probably my favorite receiver in the
Mm-hmm.
entire draft. So I like Olave. Um, you know, Burks he didn't have one of the best combines, but I like him. He's a big physical receiver. I think he has all the makings of being a true number one receiver in the NFL. So I like Burks. So it's a lot of guys out there, man. A lot of guys. Those are the two that stand out the most to me, though. Those two, Burks and Chris Olave.
In a league now that is quarterback heavy, edge rushers are the position of need now. You have to get an edge rusher. You look at the top, you look at the board, and you got edge rushers. You got 3, 4 of those guys in the top 10. And I'm looking at a guy that's not, like I say, top out of the top 16. Jermaine Johnson was really, really good at Florida State last year. He really wrecked some shit last year for Florida State. I mean, they had 12 solo sacks. They got him down for 14, and then he ran 4.58, I believe, if I ain't mistaken. A good looking kid, Georgia transfer. I like Jermaine Johnson as a guy that's outside the top 16 that can really do some damage coming into the NFL next year. Um, okay, you got the first pick, and it looks like we. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't. It looks so obvious that I just don't think it's gonna happen. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a huge fan of this guy. I like him. I do like him. And the comparisons to the Bosa's boys is just he's white, defensive end, played the Big Ten. I get it. I get it.
Yeah,
But I watched this guy
big motor.
against
Yeah,
Georgia in the bowl game, and he got manhandled pretty good.
yeah. That
And we talking about Aiden Hutchinson. I'm sorry.
honestly, yeah, I know who you're talking about because that's the obvious pick. I see everybody has Aiden Hutchinson going to us. I don't know what honestly I don't know who we gonna pick because I don't know which direction we going in right now. You know, if they didn't franchise tag Cam Robinson, then I would definitely think that we were going lineman first overall pick. But you know, now that we franchise tag him, he signed the franchise tag, and he's gonna make 18 mil something like this on the franchise tag. I'm not even sure which way or direction we go. So and they keeping it close to the vest. So like honestly, we're not getting a whole lot out of anybody in the camp of Jacksonville. So I guess both. I guess not both. I'm calling them both too. I guess Hudson is the safe pick and the safest way to go with no, number one because you're gonna if you don't get anything else out of them, you're gonna get effort. The same thing that the Bosa boys give you. So you're gonna get effort on every play. Even if they're not the most athletic person out there on the field, they gonna give you the effort. They good against the run and they can run the pass. They can rush the passer. So you'll get that out of him a lot. So
Now,
do I
what
like the
what
pick? Not necessarily. I'd be okay with Aiden Hutchinson though. I'd be okay
now
with it.
personally, between him and Kayvon Thibodeau, is it close for you, or that you wouldn't take Thibodeau, and that you wouldn't switch him and Thibodeau out? Did you hear me? Did I lose you?
I like Thibodeau.
Okay, I got you.
He getting a bad rap, like he getting a bad rap, like kind of like Zion. People questioning like his love for the game, but I mean I like Thibodeau. He got a lot of upside. I guess with the draft is more about what can you do now or the upside of what the potential that you got. So as far as like potential, his potential is out of the roof. It's definitely a whole lot more than what you're looking at with Hudson. But I think Hudson is just a safer pick, especially if you pick a number one overall.
Yeah, I
I
think it
think it'll
comes
be
to
a
a
more
level
safe
of
pick.
comfort. You know, Kayvon run hot, run cold, and we get the potential part of him. Hutchinson does play hard all the time. All the time. He plays really, really hard. He's not flashy.
Yeah.
Um, I just that Georgia game, man. I'm telling you, that game just sticks in me. Just sticks in me. I watched him get manhandled and just get beat up the whole entire game. And I mean, people are like, well, it's Georgia. They had the best offensive line in the country. Well, you go to the NFL. What the hell you think they got there? What do you think they got there? you know. So I would just, in fact, I wish he could have played a half a decent game against Georgia. I'd be like, I would have felt really more comfortable with him because other than that game, he wrecked shit last year. I mean, he was absolutely dominant in other games. I mean, he played the run, he sat the quarterback, he terrorized backfield all season. But then he played the Georgia team, and I'm like, yeah, I want to see what he does against Georgia, and I want to see what Michigan did against Georgia, and we've seen what that looked like. And so I'm a little nervous about Aiden Hutchinson at number one pick, but this goes back to something I was talking about with a guy at work one day. I was like, we every just because people think just because you go in the top five that you should be a certain guy. I was talking about more specifically the NBA.
Yeah.
But every draft ain't the same. So that top five player in 2011 draft ain't close to the place the 2003 draft. The top five, they're not the same. And we can't always assume that just because you go to the top five that you can carry a franchise on your back because you're top five. Everybody's not. They're not the guy. They just happen to go top 5 because the draft was so bad. So,
Right. That look at it like that person was the top 5 of the people that were in this draft, not the top 5 of like all the drafts combined. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm with you. I'm not as concerned about Hudson against Georgia's line. I watched, obviously watched the game too. He did get manhandled a little bit, but I mean Georgia had a pretty good offensive line. They manhandled, like, you think about the national championship game. You didn't get a lot out of Will Anderson either. He was one of the best pass rushers in the country.
he'll
So
be a
I mean, you
top
didn't
5
get a
pick
lot out
next
of
year.
him in
He is a
the
stud.
national championship game. Now he played better in the SEC championship game. He got the better of him, but yeah, right, right. So then the Georgia offensive line, they held him in check too. So I mean that was a good offensive line. They really had a good line, through and through. So we'll see.
It
Safe
now when a
pick, like I
team
say, safe pick. The safest pick
now,
is Hutchinson.
now you got a lot. You got a lot of need. You got a lot of need. Is that the number 1 need on your board, or he's the best player available?
I don't think he's the best player available. I still think Kyle Hamilton is the is the best player available because he the most talented player in this draft to me. But I just don't know how I feel about taking a safety number one overall.
But
I mean,
see
let's either
this.
say come a Ed Reed or Sean Taylor, then I don't know how I feel about taking him number one
But
overall. And
see, this is what we
even
gotta get.
those guys didn't go number one, right?
But we gotta get out of this mindset. Oh, a certain type of player can go a certain position can go number 1. If the guy's the best damn player, take the best damn player.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
we gotta get. If Kyle Hamilton got a 99 overall grade and the next guy got a 90, well, we can't take a safety number 1. What kind of stupid shit does that make? I know what you're saying. It's been
Yeah.
this way forever.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
not gonna take certain positions at number 1
It has.
overall. Like a running back would never go number 1 overall again, ever. Like never, ever again. He would never go number 1 overall
Right.
again. We won't take a guard number 1 overall. I mean, but if the guy, the best player, ain't gonna help your team win, take the best player.
Yeah, like Quentin Nelson a couple years back. He was clearly the best player. He should have been number one. He should have
Went
been number
6.
one overall pick for sure.
And he went 6. And we all knew.
Crazy, right?
And we
Right.
knew he was the
Everybody
best player.
knew.
Um,
Yeah.
that's some draft talk. We'll get more into that as the draft gets closer. I'm gonna try to do a simulcast for the draft. Well, no, I'm taking that back. We're not gonna do that. We're not doing the simulcast. Never mind. Forget what I said. But when Kiwi does his mock draft, we will come on here and go through all the picks. Hope to have everybody who made a pick come on the show at some point. Tell me why they made the pick. Blah blah. That'd be a fun show. So hopefully we can do that. Okay, we'll do that. We're gonna get up. Let's I want to talk about some NFL receivers for just a second because the reports are out. You got 3 really good going through their 4th year receivers, all 2nd round picks. So they only have 4-year contracts. So all 3 of these guys apparently been hanging out, planning, talking on the phone, communicating to each other. And that would be Debo Samuel, AJ Brown, who I told you would be the best. Well, you know what? I stand corrected because Debo, AJ Brown anyway, and Terry McLaurin have all stated to their respective teams that we're not showing up to any voluntary workouts until we get a contract signed. And because see, you have to understand why that is. Because there's a cause and effect. Because if you have been living under a rock for the last, couple months, the NFL wide receiver market has just ballooned. It has run amok. You had Devontae Adams with this big deal. Tyreek Hill is making a bunch of money. The guy in Carolina got $20 million a season. Amari's still making $20 million a season. So these contracts have ballooned. And these guys are going, we're not playing football again until we're compensated fairly. So, talk about those receivers right now in the receiver market right now.
All right. You mentioned Tyree Hill getting paid. You mentioned Devontae Adams getting paid. And you mentioned who else you mentioned?
David Moore,
Oh,
Moore,
what's his
Moore.
name? Yeah, DJ Moore. DJ
You go.
Moore. You mentioned him getting paid. So those guys deservedly got paid. When you run into a situation where Kristen Kirk getting $84 million,
Oh,
80 for
look,
four
my
years,
bad. I forget. See,
that's
I
what they
failed
upset
to
about.
mention
Look,
him.
they ain't upset about Devontae Adams don't get money. Right. They upset that Kristen Kirk got 84 mil and he never had 1,000 yard season. That's what they upset about. That's exactly why they holding
I'm
out.
glad you're here because
this
I
guy,
meant to mention him.
this
That
guy got
that was the
84
one.
mil. Yeah, that's the way to set everybody else overboard. So they're like, hold on, this guy, he ain't never been more than number two receiver. He get 84 mil. I'm
Yeah,
the top guy on
it's
my team. Yeah, so
it,
like, yeah, those
it's
those
it's
guys gonna get paid though. They gonna end up getting paid at some point.
yeah. All three of those guys are gonna get paid. You just gotta slap these guys now. But the receiver market is ridiculous right now. I mean, 30 million, 28 million, 27 million. You know, DJ Moore gets 20 million. Your guy Christian Kirk gets what he gets. What's his annual?
20, 21, something like that. I don't know.
So
Uh,
you figure you got
it
those three
was it
guys
was
are
a
better.
four.
So
Yeah,
they got to be in between Devontae and DJ Moore and Christian Kirk. So they got to be in between that. So you're looking at guys getting 24,
yeah,
25.
right,
Debo getting 24, $25 million. That's off top. And the receiver market and the
yeah,
owners are so mad right now. You got the quarterback market. Deshaun Watson and the Browns just ruined the quarterback market. Jacksonville
right.
and Miami ruining the receiver market. I love it because the owners are making so much more money. People just don't understand how much money these owners have. Like they just don't even understand what a billionaire is. Do you know what a billionaire is? And people always side with the billionaire owner, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Right. That's
You know,
crazy.
the owner
Even
bringing in
even looking at
so
David
much
Carr, David
money.
Carr got paid.
Go ahead.
Derek Carr. I was saying Derek Carr even got paid, so he's setting
Yeah.
the market too.
The
Right,
no, no.
3 year,
Quarterback market, receiver
121.
market, booming. It's
Yeah,
thriving.
they boom.
No one's
This the time.
upset about the
Look, this
quarterback.
the time to be a free agent.
All right, man. Let's get one more last topic before we get out of here. We're gonna end it on this. We talked about this. I think it might have been last year. NIL transfer portal. Look, I love the NIL. I love the NIL. I like the transfer portal, but we got to get some regulations and some rules on this junk right now. This is ridiculous. This is out of hand. This is out of control. The NIL was not meant for
Yeah,
boosters and people who are affiliated with these programs to be stuffing these kids' pockets, basically trying to pay them to get them to go to school. That was not what the design of this was supposed to be for. So when I see a program like Texas A&M get 8 5 stars off a 75 season, that bothers me a lot. So we need a
man.
commissioner of college football so bad, a governing body. Well, we say, well, the NCAA is a governing body. No, they're not. They do nothing. They suck at their damn job. They always reactive, not proactive
Yeah,
at all. So we need to just look. I love all this stuff, but you have to have rules and regulations on both of these things. They're out of control right now.
yeah, they out of control. I honestly, I think the transfer portal more out of control than NIL because the transfer portal, you got so many players that's sitting in there and they don't got nowhere to go. Like where you gonna go? Because the teams have already made adjustments to the roster. They find other transfers and bringing them in to take your position. So now you just sitting in here looking. You don't got nowhere to go. Where you going?
You have to.
Division two? Uh, I don't
You
know. That's
you
that's
got.
crazy. Yeah, it got to be some kind of regulation on that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
and the NIL is gonna be tough to regulate that though. I think. No, I'm saying the NIL is gonna be tough to regulate that, and it basically legalized the boosters doing stuff that they already been doing forever. You know what I mean? So it legalized it, but it didn't put any kind of ramifications on what's what's gonna stop them from going overboard. Like you said, Texas A&M, they ain't never had the number one overall class, never. And then all of a sudden, mysteriously, in the NIL time, they got the number one overall class in college football, which is crazy to think
with
about. Then
8 5 stars.
crazy part about that, you got Jimbo trying to act like the boosters ain't got their hands in all of this.
Like who? Like we so excited to go
Get out of here,
play for
Jimbo.
Jimbo Fisher. We so excited to go play for Jimbo Fisher.
Right.
So excited. Words never been uttered. But yeah, we just gotta
At
get.
Texas A&M, right? A team that never won a championship. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
it's out of control. We got like you just gotta have rules and regulations. You gotta put time stamps on these travel portals. You gotta have a calendar for all these things. You gotta really hammer down on the NIL is supposed for like getting sponsors. You get the Coca-Cola brand, the Pepsi brand is supposed to want to come to you and pay you because you're good at what you do and we can market you. Not Ed over here at the damn Dallas, Texas damn car lot telling this guy, you come to A&M, you can get you a $50,000 damn car and drive the lot. That's not what that was supposed to be. So I'm really highly pissed off about this. But, here we are. If we had a walking, living, breathing NCAA president, Mark Emmert, maybe we could put some rules in place. Because we shouldn't be surprised when we have the college football playoffs, which has no rules, no standards. So we should not all be surprised about anything the NCAA does when it comes to making rules and actually having a backbone. Last word.
At all. All right. No, I'm just excited for the draft. This my time of year, the draft, NBA playoffs. Definitely most exciting time of the year. Well, one of the most exciting times of the year to me. So, I'm just happy we got sports back, man. I'm happy we got some kind of normalcy back in
Yes.
sports because having to go through that whole COVID year where we didn't get no sports, no fans in the crowd, that was rough. So I'm definitely happy, excited. We got everything back. And appreciate you having me on, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you again for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. My main man, Kiwi Dennis. Appreciate the commentary, man. We'll talk.
All right.
All right, that was Kiwi Dennis, man. He joined us. We talked for a little while. NFL draft, NBA playoffs. Good first show back. Didn't get a lot of commentary. I was expecting more commentary from you people, but it's okay. Stay tuned. Like I say, look on the Facebook page. Check out for the dates and times because they'll be random, but they'll be weekdays, and I'll be here, and we'll chop it up, man, like we always do on the best damn sports podcast, period, the hottest sports podcast in South. Sentell, you know why I am the sensational Sentell Wideman. Again, I want to thank my guest, Kiwi Dennis, for joining me. I want to thank all of you guys for watching and tuning in. Season 5. On the way again, baby. Like only we can do it. I'm out.